Get an update in the Gabby Petito, Brian Laundrie case, and you'll remember that there are lawsuits happening right now, civil ones at that. But we're now learning that Brian Laundrie's mother, Roberta, breaking her silence to Fox News Digital after her highly anticipated burn after reading letter has revealed she promised her late son a shovel and garbage bags. Let's look at the letter. We have some photos of it right now. I know it's hard to read. We put it in our own graphic here. The Florida woman, though, through her attorney, claims the missive was penned before her son embarked on that June 2021 cross-country trip with his 22-year-old then fiancee, Gabby Petito. She, remember, was found dead September 19th, almost, more than 2 months later. I want to put up some of the letters so we can read it out to you. I know it's hard to make out. Let's put that up here. So, this is what we know in this letter from Roberta Laundrie to her son, Brian. It says, I just want you to remember, I will always love you, and I know you will always love me. You are my boy. Nothing can make me stop loving you. Nothing can or ever will divide us, no matter what we do or where we go or what we say. We will always love each other. If you're in jail, I will bake a cake and put a file in it. If you need to dispose of a body, I will show up with a shovel and garbage bags, she said. If you fly to the moon, I'll be watching the skies for your re-entry. If you say you hate my guts, I'll get new guts. Remember that love is a verb, not a noun. It's not a thing. It's not words. It is actions. Watch people's actions to know if they love you, not their words. Goes on to say, and she puts this Bible verse there, Romans 8:38, the extended version in parenthetical and exclamation. She says, therefore, I am certain that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor the ruling spirits, nor things present, nor things to come, nor powers from above, nor powers from below, nothing in the entire created world can separate our love, neither hostile powers, nor messengers, or heaven, nor monarchs of earth. Nothing has the power to separate us. So, that is quite something. This is also what we know. Remember, Gabby's 23-year-old boyfriend, fiancé, Laundrie, he returned to his mother's house in Northport, Florida. He was declared a person of interest before his remains were found October 21st, 2021, in that nearby reserve. So remember, the Laundries have maintained that the letter was written before, keyword, before their son left with Petito on a cross-country road trip in 2021 and wanted it withheld entirely from the case. Both sides told the court that they opposed a deal that would hand the letter over to Petito's parents but withhold it from the public. So, Fox News Digital, in an exclusive, got a statement in from Roberta Laundrie's attorney, but these are her words. Let's put this up here. It says, the letter to Brian was written prior to Gabby and Brian leaving my home for their trip. Previously, I submitted an affidavit to the court for very limited purposes, but that is not the whole story. Now that the letter has been shared, I ask that you read it in its entirety and understand that the letter contains other phrases besides those highlighted by Pat Reilly for sensationalism. And to bolster his case, Pat Reilly is the Petito family attorney. It goes on to say, I truly love my son and simply wanted to convey to him how much he meant to me and how much I loved him. I'm sure people use phrases all the time to express to their loved ones the depths of their love. Although I chose words that I thought would be impactful with Brian, given our relationship, the letter was in no way related to Gabby. Please read the entire letter before you believe the hype put out by Pat Reilly. Pat Reilly, remember, is the Petito family attorney. So this is really quite interesting. The lawsuit alleging Laundrie, his parents, and their lawyer, Steve Bertolino, knew Petito was dead at the time of a September 14th statement Bertolino released to the media. So we're going to have to follow this, but that's the news in court today. A judge denying the protective order filed by Brian Laundrie's mother to not have this presented or admissible in court. It will be admissible, the letter, in these proceedings in court in this civil lawsuit that the Petito family has filed against the Laundrie family. Well, we did hear from Gabby Petito's family attorneys today after this court hearing. Let's listen to what they had to say.
You guys ready? Yeah. Could you just say your name and spell it so we get it correct?
Matt Luca, L-U-K-A.
I guess, how are you feeling after all the motions? We know that the judge is going to rule on 2 other motions as well. Just how do you feel leaving court right now?
Well, it was obviously a long day, and we appreciate Judge Brewer giving us as much time as we needed to take. She was very accommodating in that regard. I feel pretty good. Feel about as good as I did walking in. We were able to make all of our arguments, and hopefully they'll be persuasive.
Yeah, with letting them use the letter as well, we know that the letter has now been handed over to Mr. Reilly. What are your concerns in that aspect?
Well, obviously we were concerned about how the letter might be used, that it could be embarrassing and whatnot. But it's part of the case now. It's part of discovery. And so I'm sure it's something that we will address again as the case progresses.
Is there anything else you'd like to say about that letter? Because we know that we were told that there was references to children's books, but just hearing Mr. Reilly, it didn't sound like that. Yeah,
we disagree with Mr. Reilly's characterization. So within the letter, you'll see that there are references. I know Mr. Reilly referenced 2 things in the letter that, taken out of context could be inflammatory, but they appear in a series of sort of fanciful descriptions of how much somebody would love somebody else. So, for example, there's a reference in there about if Brian went to the moon, his mother would be waiting for him to come back. If Brian hated his mother's guts, that she would get new guts. Things that are obviously not real. They're just fanciful descriptions, again, of how somebody would love somebody no matter what. And so in that context, we believe that the letter, as Mrs. Laundrie said, was written prior to Brian and Gabby's trip. The letter doesn't reference Gabby in any way, which would be unlikely if it was written after what happened between Gabby and Brian. So that's our position, and we believe the facts will eventually bear that out.
Can you prove that the letter wasn't given to Brian on his flight back to Moab?
Again, other than what Mrs. Laundrie has stated in her affidavit, that's our proof. There's certainly no proof that she gave it to him at that time that you described.
I just don't think that they would put burn after reading if it was just a letter to your son.
Well, so if you look at Mrs. Laundrie's affidavit, she states in there that that's a reference to a book that Gabby had given Brian that was called Burn After Writing. And basically the premise of that book is you can write your personal thoughts down and have that outlet, but then you burn it after writing it so that it gives you some closure to whatever it is that you were describing without other people knowing your personal thoughts.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so that was the attorneys for the Laundries talking about his reaction to, now we know the letters will be presented as evidence there. Now Petito's family attorneys stepping up. Let's listen.
We know that the judge has 2 more motions to make a ruling on, but as you said, that Judge Carroll had really already made these rulings, and it's almost a disgrace to his credit as a judge to go back to these.
I would agree. I think the arguments that were made, if I were Judge Carroll, would be insulting to me because they argued that he didn't give a thorough consideration to all of the elements of the cause of action, which is clearly not true. His decision was very well written, very reasoned, and he took his time putting it together. So I think they're just seeking another opportunity to raise the same arguments, and they should fall.
Are you concerned that, I don't want to call it a waste of time, but that they'll continue to drag things out with motions like this?
Well, if the court denies their motions, then there's nothing more they can do to stop it from moving forward. We'll begin or continue with the discovery phase and then ultimately move towards trial.
How do you feel getting that letter in your hands today too as well?
It's a victory. We're happy to have it. We fought hard to get it. We've been fighting for over a year to get that letter.
And once you have that letter, we've heard some of the phrases, some of the wordings that were written in that letter. How do you think that will help the case moving forward?
Well, the letter suggests that Roberta Laundrie would, if she needed to bury a body, she'd bring a shovel and garbage bags. It said that if she went to jail, she'd bake a cake with a file in it. I know in court I said shiv, but that was my recollection from a year ago. It does say file. So in my mind, that clearly shows that she knew that Gabby Petito was deceased, and it's up to the jury to decide when that letter was written. Just because Mrs. Laundrie says it was written before the trip doesn't mean it was written before the trip.
I guess for the family too, not having Brian alive to go to trial, how will this continue to help with some, not closure completely, but just closing out that chapter?
Well, the whole intent of this is to get answers. There are still many questions that the Petito family has about what the Laundrie family knew, what they did with the knowledge that they knew, and really why they didn't come forward and say anything. I don't know that that question will ever get answered because the court has found had the right not to say anything. But there's a lot of questions that the family would like to have answered before they can get, if you can get closure at all in a situation like this, but at least get some closure. All right, thank you.
Okay, so a major update in this case, and we read out some of that letter Roberta Laundrie sent to Brian. Remember, Brian's body was found October 20th of 2021 as the nation was just captivated by this case there. He was dead of a self-inflicted gunshot wound, severely decomposed, remember, after spending weeks undiscovered in the Myakkahatchee Creek Environmental Park near his parents' home. And so Brian Laundrie declared, remember, in that handwritten confession that I ended her life. And so, remember, we also know that her remains were discovered September 19th at a campsite near Jackson, Wyoming, where she was last seen alive. Remember, this is a very famous exchange interaction. They were both pulled over by the Moab, Utah Police Department, 2 deputies. And that's really what led the nation to follow this story so closely.